guys, welcome to another episode of Haunt Talk. On today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Ghoul Brothers in Akron, Ohio. But first, if you please take a minute to subscribe to our channel if you haven't, like this video. Also make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. And if you have not watched it yet, our haunted house documentary, Haunt Behind the Scare, is free to watch online. We're also trying to make another one through a GoFundMe, if you could help out with that. There's also a video down below in the description where all the other links are as well, describing all the things we want to do and what your money will get you. With saying that leads us on into the review of Ghoul Brothers, and this is a first-year haunt. It's located in like a plaza, kind of shopping mall type of thing.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to expect of the place, again, because it's first year haunt. We've seen a few like reviews and stuff, but it's not renowned yet or anything because it's brand new. So we went there not really knowing what to expect of the place, and I will say that we were very pleased with what we found.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll go ahead and start getting into the categories.
All right. For design, we gave them a 9.5.
Yeah. This, I think, is this place's, and it seems to be what they've already become slightly known for, is the sets, the props, and everything. A lot of it's homemade, very Hollywood level.
Yeah. It was really well done. Like, I kind of caught myself walking through and just looking at everything and just being like, wow, I wonder where they got that, or wow, I wonder how they made that, Everything was really well done. For being only open for a year, and I guess they've been working on it for, what?
I think he said 3
years?
About 3 years it's been on and off. Because we did talk to someone that helped. He's a person that's helped make the place, and stuff like that. We also did briefly get to meet the owner as well as that, who was in character. We'll talk about more in that later. But yeah, the amount of work and stuff that's been put into this place in 3 years is good. And I expected it to be at least alright, because knowing that these people seem to have a lot of passion for it, but it was better than I expected it to be. The level of finesse to the place, I would definitely use the word, the haunt was, I guess blood and guts, how is that beautiful, but I would say that the haunt was really beautiful. The lighting was immaculate. Everything was well lit. The haunt is not a dark haunt. There
was one dark hallway, I think, and that was really
real
brief.
Quick. And it was just a transition. Now this haunt does not follow a set theme. Its theme is just horror in general. What I found cool about it though is it didn't really ever seem jarring, even though there wasn't a theme. It all fit together really neatly because it was all so finely tuned, and I don't know, it all felt consistent.
Yeah, it flowed really well. There were mad scientist labs, and then it transitioned to industrial, then it was a haunted house, a freak show. It was just, it moved really well, even though it was just a bunch of different scenes put together. It was just, the way that they did it just was really well done.
Every single scene, for the most part, there wasn't a blank wall, there wasn't a dark, there wasn't just a black wall anywhere. Everywhere you looked, there was something to look at. And I really liked the way it actually intertwined with different scenes. One in note in particular, there's kind of a section where, and this is also something I liked, is it wasn't all flat terrain. There was ups and downs, and there's a part where you go up and it almost looks like a little living room section. It kind of made me feel like I was going in an attic. You walk up these stairs and it's a little hallway, but then you see these a little bit of the other haunt, because it's in the middle of it, and you're supposed to see this little bit, almost a little preview of what you're getting, because it's kind of almost had a little open design to it. And a lot of the sets, I really liked the way they were. They weren't narrow, they were bigger rooms, and you kind of weaved your way in and out of the set, so you weren't just oh, this is pretty, and you went. A lot of the scenes you kind of stayed in it scene for a little bit, which was cool.
Yeah, definitely in the, I think it was a hospital lab kind of area, you had to actually walk through it, and the actors were interacting with you and guiding you through the area, and you were going around gurneys and shelves and things like that, and so you were immersed in the scene, and Another area that they did that was in like the freak show carnival area. Like they were immersing you into it, and like I guess I stepped on the guy's foot, you know, and that was kind of funny because I didn't actually step on his foot.
They did. I mean, they have some of your tropes. They have like the claustrophobic tunnel, but the way they did that was cool. It's just a half one, and above there's some heads, and there's also a little surprise if they're of an actor, and I really enjoyed that. They had the vortex tunnel. I'm over vortex tunnels. I think haunted houses should take them out. I just think that it's in every haunt, and it doesn't do anything for me. It just makes you go, ooh, but they take up so much space.
Yeah.
Every time I go through one, I'm like, what could this be if this was take this huge structure and they just put a cool scene there? I don't know. That was like the only. I mean, that doesn't really do it for me. And there's one other scene that I wasn't a huge fan of, which was the door scene. I've seen it a lot, and it kind of ended up holding us up, and it didn't lead to anything. There wasn't anyone behind the doors. Just an actor that told us to open the doors. It wouldn't open, unless something with that scene went wrong for us. But that was the only two scenes, or the only two little things I had to gripe about, which are really nitpicky and minor.
Yeah.
It was just immaculate, really well done. So next up, that brings us to actors. We gave them a 9. They were everywhere for one. This place, there is like almost no dead space, and they're hiding spots, which is a little bit designed as well. It's just great.
Yeah. And they had, one of the things they had is they have those puppets.
Yes.
Big puppets that come at you. Well, usually those are controlled by somebody. Well, these people that were controlling the puppets also had the opportunity to come out and scare you.
Yeah, they had a structure in a way where they could get out, and
Yeah, so after they were done spooking you with the puppet, you turn the corner, and next thing you know, they're there attacking you again. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were just everywhere. Like, I got scared quite a few times.
And she doesn't get scared very often.
Yeah, and I was like really surprised and really happy because, usually I'm just walking and I'm like, oh, there they are, whatever. But they popped out of like random places, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah. And like most of their there's a few dialogue, the whole you want to play with me, and a little bit of generic stuff, but a lot of them also had like good ones. Like there's a wolf man that like acts like you're like don't step, because he has like the big feet and acts like, oh, don't step my toes, and he kind of freaks out, and he has like a Bob Ross hairdo. He was definitely a standout. There's like a mad scientist dude. He was really cool. A bunny guy that kind of like played this little drum thing. He was cool.
Yeah, he was really cool too.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in there, and they all kind of spoke to you and said things, and said they have hiding places, and it was also structured in a way, and again, this is also kind of tying in with design, but for the actors, where it allowed each actor to scare you at least twice.
Yeah.
Like almost every actor had multiple opportunities. So not only did they have plenty of actors, each actor had multiple opportunities, so there were multiple times where this actor would scare me, then this actor would scare me, that same actor that just scared me again, and it was just like back and forth, and that was awesome.
Yeah. So that leads to our next category, which is scare factor. We gave them an 8.5.
Yeah. It's pretty non-stop. This place really relies on jump scares, it's not like a high intensity, like making you crawl through things and just separating you from your group kind of haunted house. This is definitely more of an old school haunt, and I liked that. And it's funny, this place reminds me a lot of the way it scares you of the Akron Haunted Schoolhouse and Laboratory, which is so close by. It really gave you the same feeling, and I love the way they have things done there. So like if you're at the Akron Haunted Schoolhouse and Laboratory, you should certainly check this out. If you like that place, you'll really like this place too.
Like I said before, I usually don't get scared very often in the haunted houses anymore, and they got me quite a few times, and it was welcoming. I was really happy, and like where you think they would be, they weren't.
And when they are, someone else comes from somewhere else too.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like you thought you were going to get scared by somebody else, and then nope, you get scared by a totally different thing. And I like that. It was like almost like a double distraction kind of thing.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like, just really good example. One scene we walk in, an actor comes from over here kind of doing their thing. You're like, oh, okay. And then over here, a girl's crawling out from under a table, crawling on the floor, reaching up at you. And you're like, oh, it's her. And I remember she got you pretty good. She didn't see her at all.
Well, yeah, because I think I kicked her, and I was like, oh, there's somebody there.
I always feel bad for those. If you're an actor that, like, your job in the haunted house is, like, you're either contortionist girl, you're crawl on the ground person, like, I feel bad for those people because how often do you get your hand stepped on? I feel like you get them stepped on fairly often.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, haunt actors, man, I tell you, especially in places like this where they actually give it their all, you have to wonder, because like, these people are doing this night after night for hours, and it's like, I don't know, it seems pretty intense. I mean, I imagine it's also fun, but there has to be those nights where, like, you get those asshole people, but yeah. And they also did a pretty good job at spacing us out.
Oh, really well done. I mean, we never caught up to anybody. Yeah. Unfortunately, we did get somebody caught up to us, but that was because we kind of got held back in one little area.
The door area.
Yeah, the door area, and I don't know what happened in there. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. So that was the only really section of the haunted house, and it was like meh. That was like the only part out of all the other amazingness in it. But yeah. But yeah, like I said, I mean, the place did a real good job. Like I said, this place is almost all about the jump scare. Mm-hmm. It has atmosphere, but it's, again, not that, like, that's why it's an 8.5 and not higher, because it's not that, like, panic-inducing tour, which is fine. Again, as we always say, this is the one category that, even if it's a little bit lower, it doesn't even matter. But it is pretty scary. There's a lot of jump scares. It's not something I would take your little kids to. In fact, and this is something I really like, and I'm going to mention this, there was a group that got pretty much ruined for them because little kids freaked out and froze, so it ended up making a conga line. And so I guess the owners, whoever, were nice enough to say to the people that got caught behind the kids, they're like, hey, you got your experience ruined for you, so we're going to let you come back in for free. So they put them in front of the other people, and the line wasn't that big, so it's fine that they got to go. Like, we didn't have to wait that long or anything. And, they let them go and experience it again since they knew that they got ruined because of circumstances like that. And that is so great, because it's a first-year haunt. The last thing you want is people to go on your Facebook and, oh my God, my haunt was so bad. Because some people got a bad experience and the haunt owners didn't care enough to actually take time to listen to the people complain. This place did, and I think that's amazing. Yeah. And that, that's just great. So customer service, if that was a rating, you get a 10 for that, because everyone there is really nice. That leads us into our final category, which is value. It is $17 to get in. And it took us about, I'd say, 12 minutes to get through. Now we did give this, we're giving this an 8. Now that does seem like $17 is a little bit high for all the more time you're in there. However, it is very high quality haunt. If it wasn't as good, I would think it's a little too high. And it might be a little bit, I think 15 is more where it should be at for this year. Now next year they're planning on expanding, and I think, if this place becomes, like, for example, double in size, because apparently they're only using about half the space from my understanding, then I think it's for sure worth like a $20 ticket price. Because, the quality, again, is really, really good. It's jam-packed. It's a little bit short.
And they did seem to have a lot of deals. I noticed during the holiday season that they did have deals where you could, like, buy tickets for a certain amount of price, and it was discounted. Today they had something where it was like $3 off if you brought in a bandage.
Yeah. So,
they do have deals. A lot of places do that sometimes, but I think 17 is it's a pretty decent price for how big it is.
Yeah, it's decent. Yeah, it's not a long haunt, but the quality is so good. If you're in the area, especially if you went to Schoolhouse and you're like, let's go to another haunted house, you for sure should check them out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, by the time this review comes up, they might be closed for the season. So their second year will probably be even bigger and badder. So we really highly recommend that you check this place out. We had a great time. The place was just awesome. It blew my expectations. We almost didn't go to this place. Yeah, I'm really glad we ended up checking out. This is pretty much the last place we're going to the year, and it's nice to not end it on a low note, but to end it on a high note.
Hey.
So that, of course, leads us into our overall score, which we gave this place a 9. And I think it's definitely worth mentioning, for a first-year haunt to get a rating that high from us, I think is respectable in its own right, and I'm so excited to see what it's going to be like next year.
Definitely.
Like, even if, I don't expect them to double it in size next year. If they can, that'd be amazing. But like even if they add some stuff, like watching this place progress throughout the years, I mean, I think this haunt's going to become really popular if they keep what they're doing up.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, how could it not? And like so many of the things are homemade. Like the puppets she's talking about, most of them I've never seen other places, and I'm almost positive they've made most of these things themselves. And it's the attention to detail is just insane. So if you're a person that loves that kind of thing, if you're a person that just loves haunted house, you should definitely check this place out if you're in the area. It's really good.
I felt like I was on like Hollywood sets at some points because it was just so well done. So thank you for watching. Like we said, this is probably our last review of the season. So if you're seeing this after Halloween, unfortunately you can't go to this place, but I would definitely check it out next year. Be sure to like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We plan on having more content throughout the year. And like our Facebook and Instagram, all that fun jazz. And if you like the music that we play at the beginning and the end, it's done by Jerry Vayne. He's known as the Haunt Rocker, and he makes some really cool bitchin' music. Check it out. Maybe download his album. Just check it out. Also, if you haven't watched it yet, which shame on you, we have our haunted house documentary available on our YouTube channel. It's Haunt Behind the Scare. It shows you a behind the scenes look at what it takes to put a haunted house together. It's for local area haunted houses, and we just kind of delve deep into what makes a haunted house tick. We also would like to make a sequel to our documentary. We do have a GoFundMe page going on right now. Every penny counts, so if you want to donate and see a sequel to our documentary, please donate. All that information will be in the information on this video. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next year.